Good morning and welcome to the Level 5 Advanced Certificate in Strategic Wellbeing Leadership. My name's Emily Pearson. I'm the founder of the Wellbeing Lead Academy. Welcome to today's virtual open day. The first thing you might be noticing is that we've had a change of name. We are no longer calling the Level 5 Wellbeing Lead Diploma, and you'll find out exactly why during the open day, as I have some very exciting news to share with you. At the Wellbeing Lead Academy, we exist to develop wellbeing leads through support, cheerleading, mentoring, and qualifications. We have a vision for developing wellbeing leads to elevate their role to be a boardroom, business strategic advancement. My background's health and social care. I've worked in the field for over 25 years altogether. 15 years working as a practitioner and qualified health and social care trainer. And then the past 10 years, I wish it was only 5 years, the past 10 years, I feel so old now saying that, in workplace well-being. My journey into workplace well-being started 10 years ago when I was part of the Mind team who developed and delivered the first ever mental health culture change program. And this was called the Blue Light Program. It was commissioned by the government specifically for emergency service personnel. It was an amazing legacy to leave behind. We touched the lives of thousands and thousands of people across the UK in the pilot alone. And 10 years later, the Blue Light Program is still doing amazing work supporting the mental health and well-being of emergency service personnel. From there, I realized that if we can change the culture in an environment that's very male, majority male, quite masculinized, then we could do it anywhere. That's when I left Our Mind's work and set up that's when I left Mind and set up my own business, Our Mind's Work. Our Mind's Work was all about creating a framework so that we could develop culture change throughout any industry, any sector. And I led that business for 8 years. Before setting up the Wellbeing Lead Academy, and at the Wellbeing Lead Academy, our vision is very different here. We are all about developing the first ever career pathway, which is accredited as a centre of excellence to develop this emergent occupation called the Wellbeing Lead. So very, very proud to have you all here today, finding out more about the qualification. So I just want to share some of our values with you because they really are the foundation of the Academy. They're also the foundation of my North Star, and they're also how I bring on board collaborators and partners. The first value that we have here is all about authenticity, and I often share my own lived experiences of poor mental health throughout my decades of being on this planet, also my lived experience of addiction and recovery. And I do that because I want to encourage genuine connections. I want to build trust and support meaningful growth in others who are in a particular spot as well-being leads, who can use what they learn to help other people. I mean, it's a really big vision and mission and purpose-driven aim and goal to share together. Our second value is all about collaboration. Anyone who knows me know that I love to collaborate with people who I trust. So creating a community where we share wisdom, we support each other, and we collectively learn and drive progress through each other's businesses, with our partners, through our learners and our clients as well. Our third value is all about excellence. We are here to uphold the highest standards in service for professional outcomes for our clients and our learners. This is why all of our programs are accredited, and that accreditation, our work is audited. We aspire to achieve much higher standards than we were expected to. And this is why the Wellbeing Lead Academy is quite unique in the qualifications that I'm going to be telling you about today. And the last one there is leadership, but more specifically, leadership and well-being. When you work with the Wellbeing Lead Academy as one of our learners, or even as a client, we're here to guide you. We're here to mentor. We're here to cheerlead. We're here to inspire you as well-being leaders, or even future well-being leaders. We truly want to transform workplaces so that we can promote sustainable health and well-being at work. Some great news as well. The Wellbeing Lead Academy has a very special recognition. We are officially recognised as an educational provider by the Association of Occupational Health Professionals. What this also means is that any of our learners studying on the Level 5 Advanced Certificate in Strategic Wellbeing Leadership will receive 1 year of IOH membership completely free. So you gain access to all of their resources and education while you're studying on our qualification as well. This is just some of our amazing clients that we're trusted by and have collaborated with over the past 8-9 years of being in business in the workplace wellbeing space. You know, some of these are extremely well-known brands, household names, big conglomerates, but we do work with some smaller organizations, from law all the way through to retail, from manufacturing through to construction. And one of our oldest clients on here is actually called 13. They're a housing organisation up in the northeast. They've got around 12,000 employees. They've been a client since the first day we opened our doors at Our Minds Work, which is just an amazing testament to say that 8 years, this is how we build trusted relationships for long-term impact with our clients. So this is my exciting news to share with you all today. This is the Certified Wellbeing Leader Career Progression Pathway. This is why we've changed the name of the Level 5 diploma. So how does it work? What we've done is we've actually created a 3-level career pathway, which is all accredited. And this pathway could potentially lead on to things like the Masters in Health and Wellbeing further down the line. Our level 3 starts off at the bottom here with the certificate in understanding health and wellbeing at work. Our level 3 is our entry level qualification. This is open to anyone. Consultants can join this. If you're wanting to change your career, you've been working in retail all your life, but you want to finally come over to the wellbeing world. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're starting from. The level 3 is that entry point to the progression pathway for wellbeing leadership. We then have our level 4 in certified applied workplace wellbeing practice. I think I need to put my teeth in properly today, don't I? And the level 4 is the stepping stone onto the level 5, which I'm talking to you about today. This is why we've changed the name to the Advanced Certificate in Strategic Wellbeing Leadership, so that it aligns with our new career pathway. It is the only accredited wellbeing leadership career pathway in the UK, probably across the world right now. This has never been done before. All of our programs are accredited by Open College Network Credit for Learning, and we have used their services for the past 8 years. They're a long-term long-term collaborator and supporter of the work that we do here in leading in excellence. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. So the level 3, as I said, is the entry pathway, is the entry qualification onto the pathway. It has 130 guided learning hours, and it's delivered over a mix of live masterclasses. There will be 3 live virtual masterclasses that you would attend, and you would have 6 units or assignments to complete that you could do over a 6-month period. This would give you 13 credits once it's been assessed and you've passed that qualification. These credits are an important part of the progression pathway, because what the credits do is it means it gives you credits towards the next step, the next qualification, so that you don't have to go in and do the whole qualification as you're going through the pathway. Now, this is brand new. We start in October. We currently have a waiting list open, which I will share all the details with you in a follow-up email. And we have an open day happening in August, specifically for the level 3. So you may start the level 3 in October, and then by next year in 2026, we will be launching our level 4. The level 4 is going to be around about 200 guided learning hours. That's around 20 credits. It should take you around 9 months to complete if you're coming in at that level. However, if you're coming in from a level 3, you already have 13 credits that you can put towards this level, which means that you can look to select a number of different assignments that you can complete to get you up to the 20 guided learning hours and 20 credits. Again, all your work is assessed. We have qualified assessors. We are also audited on our standards and assessed ourselves to make sure that we're withholding a quality of what we deliver. So that's coming in 2026. But what you're here to hear about today is Level 5 Advanced Certificate in Strategic Wellbeing Leadership. So let's jump into that. But what I do want to say with this progression pathway, because it is certified, it is fully accredited, you will be able to add, once you've completed each of these qualifications, your very own special badge to your emails, your signatures, that tells people that you are a certified wellbeing leader, which is very exciting. And all of that design work is happening right now as we speak. So let's jump in at the Level 5 Advanced Certificate in Strategic Wellbeing Leadership. So who is the course for? We developed this course around 4 years ago. We piloted it for a couple of years and then started to engage in further research, continuous improvements to ensure that it's solution focused and tailored to the needs of a strategic wellbeing lead. So the Level 5 certificate is the only foundation degree level qualification in workplace health and wellbeing, which focuses on culture change. And what I mean by foundation degree level is the competencies are mapped over from a foundation degree, and it's 370 learning hours, guided learning hours across 12 months, which is the same equivalent to doing a foundation degree at a university. Because of that, you need to be a wellbeing lead or responsible for developing and delivering a wellbeing, a mental health and wellbeing strategy and action plan over 12 months to complete the program. And that's because this is why it works so well. It's not just a course that you come along and do some master classes where you learn more. You're actually building the skills, the tools, and delivering it on the ground to get that experience straight away of actually delivering the program, delivering your strategy as you go. We developed it like an apprenticeship so that there's a mix of learning, as you'll see as we go through the program today, where you will have a mix of masterclasses, you will have assignments to complete, you will be creating evidence as you go for your portfolio, and all of this will go towards your final mark of your Level 5 Advanced Certificate, and we mark based on 3 levels of pass, merit, or the word's just gone out of my head. How terrible is that? It'll come back to us as menopause brain for you. Apart from that, we also have a supportive community and we provide 12 months of mentoring throughout the qualification as well. So there's a lot of support there to get you to the end of the qualification and passed with a distinction. There you go. Thank you, Brain, for bringing that back up to me. So what else makes us unique? If that isn't enough, you will also gain insights from our subject matter expert partners. So not only am I delivering this course, we have another tutor and assessor. We also have some strategic subject matter expert partners who will help you to understand how to bring in different topics, holistic well-being, into your strategy over those 12 months as you're developing it and delivering it. So just some outcomes for you as a wellbeing lead as you go through the qualification. The first thing that's going to happen is with the new level of knowledge, these new skills you're going to build, you're going to gain confidence. You're going to realize that actually now I know what I'm doing. I'm not having to learn as I go anymore. And you will start to recognize your levels of credibility and authority begin to build trust across your organization, especially in the boardroom. I've seen this happen with our wellbeing leads over and over again, and it's absolutely beautiful to see our wellbeing leads and our learners on the qualification just gaining that confidence and hearing them every month in our mentor meetings, where we're really celebrating where they're stepping up, feeling confident, and actually taking action built on not just confidence but competence as well. It is an occupational level qualification. Like I said, this is the equivalent to going to university and doing a foundation degree. So this can really boost your career. We are in the process of having conversations with universities that deliver the masters to see if we can have this as a recognized stepping stone onto a master's so that we can fully complete that qualification and career pathway. You will also see that you will have enhanced motivation. Once that confidence starts to increase, you'll start to recognize as you take an action and learning and implementing what you're learning that you're starting to see evidenced impact, you're achieving success, and that will give you a refreshed and renewed purpose, this enhanced motivation from doing the diploma, from doing the qualification with us. And ultimately, you're going to become the best well-being lead that you can be, with the expertise that we provide, with the support, with the community, with the tools that we give to you. You'll elevate your role so that you're able to make a lasting difference in workplace well-being. And one of the best outcomes that we have seen is that when wellbeing leads complete this qualification, they generally find that they often want to move on to a new role, to something where they can even, do a better job or work with a better organization. Or we've also seen many wellbeing leads being promoted as well. So I just want you to meet part of the team. Apart from myself, we have Sam Langford. She is our tutor and assessor joining us this year. So Sam holds a NEBOSH and a master's qualification in workplace health and wellbeing. But what I'd really like to do is allow Sam to introduce herself. She couldn't be here today, so she did leave a little bit of a video for us to share. I am just going to make sure the computer sound is on and I'll let Sam introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam, one of the diploma tutors and assessors here at the Wellbeing Lead Academy. I am a health and wellbeing professional with experience in public and private sectors. I've worked in roles as an organisational health and wellbeing lead and bring experience of writing strategy that's embedded in all business processes. I hold a NEBOSH certificate in managing workplace wellbeing and the Masters in Workplace Wellbeing, and I'm trained in trauma risk management and resilience and wellbeing peer support as well. While I now run my own business and I continue to work in all areas of workplace wellbeing, I do have a passion for supporting bereaved colleagues and how we can be more trauma informed to create psychologically safe and compassionate workplaces. I also come from a learning and development background. I'm a qualified assessor and internal quality assurer. So alongside tutoring and mentoring, I work with the team here at Wellbeing Lead Academy to ensure that every learner's work is assessed fairly, consistently, and to a really high standard. I'm so pleased to be part of the Wellbeing Lead Academy team. I'm really passionate about helping others grow in confidence and realise their full potential as wellbeing leaders. And I can't wait to meet our next cohort.
Few technical problems there, but it wouldn't be Zoom without some technical problems, would it? So we're absolutely proud to have Sam on board as our new tutor and assessor and mentor for September cohort. But let's also introduce you to our partners. So we do have a number of strategic partners who bring their expertise to our learners. What happens is after the masterclasses, we have a partners conference where we spend around about 4 hours where you get to hear and learn from all of our experts to make sure that you're bringing their expertise into your wellbeing strategy as well. So we start off with the amazing Rachel Bishop from RLB Safeguarding. I met Rachel when we were back in she was probably in her 20s. I might have been my late 20s, early 30s, when we worked together at a young people's drug and alcohol service. And Rachel has gone on from there to work in safeguarding, both children and young people and adults. RLB Safeguarding really brings the safeguarding golden thread into the workplace, safeguarding your people, safeguarding your mental health first aiders, and safeguarding the business as well. It is a golden thread that we talk to learners about, making sure that it's embedded throughout your wellbeing strategy, that we're safeguarding your people and your organization as well from harm. Then we have the amazing Sharon MacArthur on Miss Menopause, as she's probably more better known. Sharon is hilarious. The way that she talks about menopause is so engaging. And this is what makes her so unique, that she's always on a radio show somewhere talking about menopause and especially engaging men in the menopause conversation because of her unique delivery. Sharon likes to talk about how do we make menopause business as usual within your wellbeing strategy. So you will learn a lot from Sharon around how do we build it into the DNA of a wellbeing strategy. Then we have Adam Brown from the Health Insurance Group. Adam is a health insurance broker. So, what makes Adam so unique is that he helps our clients and our learners to look at the range of employee benefits that are out there, how to get the best deal, and how to get the most out of them. Adam's very good at helping our learners to work out, what's going to be best for their organization, what's going to be best for the needs of their people, and has also saved a lot of our clients money just by reviewing what they've already got in place and finding better opportunities for them. So Adam brings a wealth of knowledge around employee benefits that look really good in attracting talent, but then also really deliver the benefits that they've promised. Then we have Ryan Briggs from Finwell. As any wellbeing lead will know, when you're building a wellbeing strategy through our program, you will build it using 4 pillars: mental health, physical health, financial well-being, and social well-being. Ryan and the team from Finwell help you to understand, what is financial well-being? Why do we need a whole pillar for it? How do we create a strategy throughout that pillar to help to improve financial well-being within our teams? And with finances, debt, and money being the #1 personal stressor for us in the UK right now, our partnership with Ryan and Finwell is absolutely essential for our learners going through this qualification. So a few more partners to introduce you to. We have the amazing Ryan Park. Ryan Park is a men's health coach, but he's also a TEDx speaker, and a public speaker all over the world. He's been traveling all over the place lately, delivering his talks to organizations as in the NHS with some of our clients. And he also joins our ambassador program and spoke covering his new book and his new topic called How to Help Him at our Men's Health at Work conference for Men's Health Week in June. So Ryan is here to help our learners understand not just about men's mental health and men's health and well-being, but also how to engage men in well-being. How do we talk differently to men, use different ways to communicate with men to help them to engage in well-being, improve their health. We also have Charlie Winton from OK Positive. Charlie is a wellbeing digital entrepreneur, and OK Positive provide an app that helps to make individual wellbeing scalable. So what Charlie brings to the table for our learners is he helps our learners to understand, well, how do we measure well-being from individuals? How do we know what they're struggling with? But then how do we also provide them on the spot guidance, advice, and ways that they can improve their well-being using something like an app? And then finally joining us for the first year this year is Bobby Hartshawn from Wellwise. Again, another digital entrepreneur, but this time the way that her digital program works is she helps our learners to understand how do we measure organizational data? How do we go zoomed out from what OK Positive do with the individual data, look into a zoomed out section around culture and monitoring and reviewing and showing that your well-being strategy is making improvements through data as well. Amazing range of partners here. These are all trusted collaborators. Some of them have just joined us for the first time, but some of us have been with us for the past 3 years since we've been delivering this qualification. Now, why did we actually build this qualification? So let me tell you about it. As I've said, I've been in this sector for 10 years now. And what I found was about 5 years ago, we started to see this wellbeing lead role. So this was a brand new emerging occupation. There'd never been a role called a wellbeing lead before. And before that, what we were often seeing was wellbeing was kind of tacked in to HR and health and safety roles, usually in HR roles. So they were given this dual role of doing HR, but then also wellbeing strategy. Great to see the new wellbeing lead role, a dedicated role, which is absolutely needed. But what we found with these wellbeing leads is that it doesn't all sound so great on the ground. We did some research. We asked 200 wellbeing leads about some of the challenges, and this is what we found. So we found that some of the biggest challenges of being a wellbeing lead was poor engagement in wellbeing initiatives. Really, really common challenge. That was one of the top challenges. We also found that there was a lack of budget being made available. And this was often due to a lack of strategy, a lack of data collection, a lack of being able to evidence return on investment. 50% of the 200 wellbeing leads told us that they didn't even have a strategy. And for those of them who did, often we're just winging it. There were still things missing from their strategy that should have been in there. And when we were doing this research is based around 3 maturity levels. So the assessment is our wellbeing maturity assessment, which I will send you the link in a follow-up email if you are interested in taking the assessment, or pop over to wellbeingleadacademy.uk where you'll see the link on the website for you to take. It's completely free, but it'll help you to understand the maturity of your wellbeing strategy. What we also found was that there were huge gaps in HSE legal requirements for preventing stress. A vast majority, around 80%, of these wellbeing strategies did not include preventative stress risk assessments. So we saw a big gap in legal obligation breaches there. As I've mentioned already, there was just such a lack of evidence return on investment, challenges with data collection, not knowing what to collect in terms of data or how to collect it, and then a lack of evidence return on investment. So when initiatives were being invested in, like mental health first aid, there was no evidence of the impact that it was making. We found that a lot of wellbeing leads were just learning as they go. They felt that they were constantly experimenting with what they were doing. Often due to a lack of data, it was one size fits all approaches. And as we know, we're all different, and different demographics need different ways of support, and different demographics come with different risks that we need to tackle. So we noticed that there was a big issue around that as well. We also noticed that there was a lack of holistic well-being, gaps in well-being pillars. And one of the biggest gaps that we found was that out of all of the well-being leads who had a strategy, only 3% of them had a strategy around recovery-friendly practices. And we can't talk about mental ill health and suicide without talking about addiction and recovery. Addiction and recovery is the last taboo of workplace wellbeing. So with our training, we help our wellbeing leads to start thinking about how do you include addiction and recovery support into your wellbeing strategy. And just the conclusion for that was what we found through the 200 wellbeing leads who completed the maturity assessment, less than 3% of strategies were assessed to be in the advanced maturity stage. That tells us that despite being wellbeing leads, we've got a long way to go in terms of mature wellbeing strategies that are clear, that they're data-driven, they're purposeful, they are bought in by senior leaders, they have appropriate budgets, and they create culture change. That's why we developed the course. And this is why you'll see all of those challenges are being solved in our masterclasses in the learning. So we start off with masterclass 1. So the next course starts in September. The first masterclass is middle of September. We'll come to the dates in a moment. But you can see here, masterclass 1 is about your strategy mastery. This is where you understand the models, the frameworks that we need to use to understand what is well-being in the workplace, what impacts it, what do we need to improve in our strategy to actually create culture change and solve some of these problems. We look at constructing your wellbeing pillars and implementing the Wellbeing Lead Academy's culture change framework, which is the framework that you use for all of your pillars that sit within your strategy that will gain you culture change and a way to benchmark and progress through the framework. You look at aligning well-being with other business agendas. Who do you need to collaborate in a strategy team? You may need to collaborate with your HRD, who's got the people strategy that needs to be aligned with your CEO, whose business strategy is all about growth and talent retention. Well-being will be a major part of that. So you will understand throughout Masterclass 1 what your strategy needs to be, who you need to collaborate to support it, and how you need to align it with business agendas through master and data collection and securing senior leadership sponsorship. Masterclass 2 is all about action plan and excellence. So once we've got your strategy and your pillars, we now need an action plan. So throughout the diploma, you will be developing a 4-year strategy and a 12-month action plan, and you'll be delivering on that action plan. So we give you the templates, we help you to craft your action plan. And throughout the Masterclass 2, we start to look at, okay, now how do we make strategic decisions? How do we know which budget we need to spend where? How do we prioritize the risks and the problems we need to solve? We also look at navigating legal requirements because these will be priority areas in your strategy, and also preventing work-related stress, which is a big part of preventing poor mental health and well-being from the workplace. Moving into Masterclass 3, this is all about culture and your people managers. So empowering people managers for well-being excellence. When it comes to employee experience, when it comes to employee experience, the manager's role in wellbeing culture is essential. The manager, your people managers, are your culture creators. Each one of them develop their own cultures within their teams. But often what we see is that it is a culture of default rather than a design, as many managers are lacking in any training or development around leading teams, leading wellbeing cultures, having conversations and using tools to make sure that teams are high performing and not burning out. So that's what we provide in Masterclass 3. In Masterclass 4, this is where we start to look at your other wellbeing initiatives. So if you're responsible for mental health first aid, advocate, champion style roles, we look at how to leverage that initiative, getting the most out of it, how to collect data to show impact, how to safeguard people through that, how to have, the right recruitment process in place, how to make sure you understand the governance around running a safe and impactful peer-to-peer support initiative. We start to look at campaign planning that's strategic, and it's linked into your strategy outcomes. This isn't just about doing Mental Health Awareness Week because it's Mental Health Awareness Week. This is about utilizing your data, looking at the outcomes and the ambitions that you're trying to achieve in your strategy, and making sure that your 12-month strategic campaign plan is based around those goals. We'll also look at enhancing employee engagement through a blueprint, using our Wellbeing Lead Academy's blueprint to enhance employee engagement through making people aware, all the way through to engagement, and then talking about a great experience that they've had. We look at targeting demographics for relevance, and we specifically look at targeting men in workplaces because these are often one of the hardest demographics to engage and are often one of the highest risks for things like heart disease, prostate cancer, lung cancer, bowel cancer, and suicide. We then look at how to build an impactful campaign. We give you a campaign template. We do activities around building campaigns. We learn about what's the purpose of a campaign and what are some of the foundations for building campaigns and delivering for them for impact. Moving on to Masterclass 5. This is where we start to look at culture change. Everything we've done there is all about building your strategy and looking at how you're going to make improvements and deliver on a 12-month action plan. But beyond the 12 months, this is where we start to need maintaining the progress that we've made and turning that into culture and behavior change. So Masterclass 5, this is where we look at how to continuously improve on your strategy and your action plan, how to evaluate impact through data analysis, how to use reflective practice for your strategy growth, but also for your own growth, and even the growth of any mental health first aid or network programs you may be responsible for as well. We will look at utilising net promoter scores as well to evidence culture change within the organisation. And then finally, Masterclass 6 is all about group peer mentoring. What we find throughout our cohorts is each cohort is very unique. Our last cohort, we've got manufacturing, we've got NHS, we've got, who else have we got? We've got insurance companies. There's such a wide, broad range of diverse sectors and organizations that we've got to share wisdom with each other. What we also find is that the pathway to becoming a wellbeing lead is very diverse as well, because there isn't a career pathway to get into being a wellbeing lead until now, which you found out today. So people are coming from HR, health and safety, occupational health, just kind of fell into it, was passionate about it, and was given the role to do it. So we want to share wisdom with peers. What we also find is on our level 5, we may have somebody who's just gone from payroll to being given the responsibility to develop and deliver their strategy, which means brilliant, you're doing it as you go, you are learning and doing your job as you go. But then we may have wellbeing leads who've been in the role for a couple of years that just really want to solidify their learning, but they also learn a lot of stuff as well from this, because again, they've never had any training or development in how to develop and deliver an impactful culture change, mental health and wellbeing strategy. Once the masterclasses are finished, you will have the 12 months altogether to complete your assignments. There are 12 units or 12 assignments that you need to complete that focus on things, everything from the cost of poor mental health and wellbeing in your organisation and doing your own research, all the way through to designing good quality work, reducing stigma and discrimination, your legal obligations and policies around health and well-being. How do you embed mentally healthy leadership practices into your organisation through your strategy? How do you prevent and manage work-related stress? Do you have safeguarding and confidentiality built into your well-being strategy that people understand and know about? How to embed mental health self-evaluation tools into your organisation, and also how are you going to impact monitor and integrate what you've learned throughout your strategy. So as you're going through the diploma over those 12 months, you'll have the masterclasses, you'll have the group mentoring session, you'll have the partner conference, you'll have, what we recommend is that you set one day a week, blocked out your diary for studying. to go through these units, so that we recommend that if you can knock off one unit every month within the 12-month program, you will complete the diploma. But you've got to be dedicated. You've got to have that time blocked out of your diary. If you don't achieve it in 12 months, it is okay. You can apply for an extension for 3 months. But what we often find is learners who dedicate 1 day a week to study will get through the diploma without any problems, because a lot of this evidence, you are also creating that evidence as you go. You're learning and you're implementing the work and the learning as you go. By the end of the diploma, you do have by the end of the course, you do have a final presentation to do. This is the final part of your course. We mark all of your work, all of your units are assessed by assessors and marked. And your final presentation, your endpoint assessment, is also what will happen at the end of the course. So the way the course is delivered, you've got your 6 virtual masterclasses. You've got your 12 specialist self-directed learning units. You have one-to-one monthly mentoring with either myself or Sam. And then you have your endpoint assessment, which is just a 10-minute presentation of one problem that you have solved throughout the qualification, how you've solved it, how you know that you've solved it, your data collection, and what you're going to do to integrate it and improve on it moving forward. So just some of the features of the qualification: we record your masterclasses live. So if you were sick one day or life happens and you can't make it, it means you're able to play it back on demand. The live sessions are also with subject matter expert partners. We record them so you can watch them back on demand as well. There is a student community we use a WhatsApp student community, but we also do try to meet up and, regularly, if you are in close to any of your other cohort, we do like to see you meeting up and doing some study buddying as well. You've got 12 months to complete the diploma, and you will receive 1 year free membership with the Association of Occupational Health Professionals. So the bootcamp starts on the 16th of September. We have a digital launch on Monday, the 1st of September. So you don't need to do anything, but this is where we enroll you into the LMS system. We give you all the information that you need to make a start and prepare you for the first masterclass. These are the dates for the masterclasses. So by the time we get to Wednesday, the 29th of October, you'll have had a session every Wednesday and be finished with your boot camp. You then have until the 31st of September 2026 to complete all of your units and assignments and get to your endpoint assessment. But as I said, we can provide a 3-month extension if needed. So then why choose us? We have over 100 years combined expertise in health and social care, workplace health and well-being. As you can see, men's health, financial well-being, safeguarding, menopause. This is one of the reasons why our team is unique for this qualification. We've also been delivering this for 3 years now, so we know what we're doing. We've done this many times before, and the study is flexible and on the job. Apart from the masterclasses, you can study whenever you want to study, and a lot of that study is on the job as you're doing the work as a wellbeing lead. You're going to get that instant impact. It is nationally accredited, as I mentioned before, and it is the equivalent to studying a foundation degree at a university, which makes it especially unique. And we become your long-term trusted partners. Our clients and learners that work with us know that they can trust us. We work together over 12 months. You see the impact that we can help you make, and that becomes long-lasting. Just want to share some testimonials. Julia Wilson joined us a couple of years. She was the people manager then. She was then promoted up to a wellbeing manager after she'd done the qualification. She realized just how vast the content was, how much she learned, and the important fundamentals of strategy for a culture change, not just ticking boxes. Amy Davies joined us last year from Birmingham City Council. She was amazed to find a programme that just aligned perfectly with her role as the lead wellbeing officer. Tracy Middleton-Lee, she's the Wellbeing Lead from Heidelberg Materials. She is one of our star learners from last September's cohort. She's probably going to be the first to qualify this year. She has, I've seen her confidence just skyrocket. She identified cost savings for the business. She was critical in her review and moved her strategy from just ticking boxes all the way through to meaningful action through a strategy. And finally, Adient Haley-Cheel, she was the HR manager that joined us in March last year. Within 12 months of delivering our mental health pillar and our framework and developing their managers, they found that their mental health and stress-related sickness absence dropped by 41% in 12 months, which really proved to her and us the power of a strong wellbeing strategy. Just some alumni of organisations who have been on our diploma before, including Principal Cleaning Services, Changing Life, Skanska, Sky, Birmingham Council, Colas Rail, Transport for London, and I could name many more. But what we are doing here is something extremely special. We are trailblazing and leading in this area, and we want you to join us. We want you to come along on this moment of history, really, where we're creating the first ever qualification for wellbeing leads and the first ever accredited pathway as well. There are now limited placements available. We already have people enrolled on the diploma, on the qualification. Enrollment is open now. It's £3,500 plus VAT to enroll, and enrollment closes in just 6 weeks. So by the end of August, we'll be closing enrollment ready for the September cohort. The next step is just to pre-enroll. So if you are watching this back, the pre-enroll link will be in the newsletter or the email, or it may be in the information section if you're watching this back on our YouTube channel. The pre-enroll is just a couple of questions just for you to express interest. Then we can get in touch with you and help you to get the funding in place and get you prepared and enrolled ready for September starting. We don't have any questions that we haven't already answered in the chat box there. So all is now for me to say is do get in touch if you have any other formal questions, and do make sure that you get it down into the pre-enrollment link and express an interest today. We would love to see you on the next qualification with the level 5 advanced certificate in strategic wellbeing leadership.